Okay, I'm gonna go with my first question. This is a question. This is a personal one because we're in this journey. We're talking about African spirituality here, and which is what the book is about. And as you move away from the mainstream religion, because I call them religion, there's nothing spiritual about them. Mainstream religion, Christianity, Islam, and whatever. Mainly because I used to be a Christian, so I moved away from Christianity. And in the Christian religion, we're talking about heaven and hell.
Mm-hmm.
Our elder Chester Higgins delved into this topic last week. It was basically deep, heaven and hell. And then, as we know the world as we live in today, there's so much evil going on. So people think, okay, because there's so much evil going on, Christianity says if you commit so much sin on earth, obviously there's a hell waiting for you for the consequences. But in African spirituality, there doesn't seem to be a heaven and hell. So people kind of can't get their heads around how do people get punished if there's no heaven and hell? If we say in African spirituality, there's no heaven and hell, because a lot of people cannot get, even I'll say my wife struggles. We basically had a long conversation about this for an hour with my wife a couple of days ago, talking about this. So she can't get her head around the fact that, okay, people go through all this evil. They've done all these things. And obviously Christianity says there's hell. If we say there's no hell, so how do people get punished?
Well, I love that question because who punishes people under Christianity?
Wow.
Look, Christianity itself, the Bible itself, the Quran itself agrees. I could have killed a whole nation. That's a crime called genocide. If at the moment of my dying, I convert and I accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I am going to heaven. How that nation that suffered genocide comes out of it, that's not my business. I am not there to pick up the pieces. Reverse. I could have led a very pious Christian life for 30 years. And on the last week of my death, I backslide for some reason, pressure, problems, and I die in my backslidden state. That 30 years does not count. Oh, that's what the Bible says. I'm not making this up. That's what Christianity itself says. So I don't know where people come off with the belief that Christianity is going to send people to heaven or earth, or that as a system, it mitigates justice. Look, I have a simple question that my daughter asked me at 13. If the doctrine of heaven and hell were truly true, it stuck, how is it that the same people who brought Christianity here brought it under torture, rape, land dispossession? They brought it under such atrocities. So I'm trying to understand. So what were those people doing? They were condemning themselves to hell. They brought the good news. I mean, in every slavery fort, I've been to the one in, what's the island in Tanzania?
Zanzibar.
I've been to the one in Zanzibar, which was run by the Arabs. I've been to the one here in Ghana. I've seen those in Kenya, my sister. In all of them, there's above, the slave quarters were built underneath.
Yep.
But on top was the administration office, the quarters of the administrators. But guess what else was there? The church.
Yeah.
The church would be going on a Sunday while a slave was dying underneath from the poor conditions.
Or being raped.
Death or raped or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know these people who think that the doctrine of heaven and hell is a justifiable doctrine that brings justice. I mean, that's why we struggled to even find the word justice in Tsigi. That's why we stuck to Obulungisa, because Translated in English, a very weak translation of it is justice. But we know there's no justice in justice in the Western Christian or Arab sense, because, I mean, how many people are in prison today who did not commit those crimes, but they were too poor to afford good lawyers? How many people are not in prison because they can command money and they can command good lawyers?
AKA Trump.
Yeah, look at the Ramaphosa case in South Africa. I can't, because I deal with everybody in the continent and people give me $50 there, $100 there. FNB, my bank, cannot clear that money unless I physically go and say what it is intended to. $50, guys, 50. Doesn't even translate to so much rent. I must say why it's in my account, who's given it to me. Ramaphosa kept how much, Ntsigi, under his bed? And the courts say, because he commands the authority of being the president. So I don't know where people come off thinking Christianity is a system that has come to met justice and punitive against the evildoers. I don't know. I rather believe in a system that says both do not exist, because for the poor there is no heaven or hell. Both does not exist.
Mama Khanyisile,